Today I'm going to tell you the story of how I overpaid for this Honda Civic and still made bank. And at the end of the video, since the last car flip video did so well, I'm giving away a free gift to every single one of you guys that makes it to the end of the video. It is not clickbait. It is more valuable than a gift card. It is less valuable than a Tesla, and it is 100% completely free, yours to keep. That is my promise to those of you that make it to the end of the video. If that sounds good to you, then let's be on our way to pick up today's video's Honda Civic. This Civic is not just any Civic. This Civic might just be the ugliest Civic on Facebook Marketplace.
Ugliest.
After messaging the seller, I learned 5 key details about this car. The paint is horrible, but there's no rust. The throwout bearing is making noise. The engine is healthy. It has a clean title, and the seller is firm at $3,000. Davenport, 16 miles. Mississippi River right out there. Dude, that's actually really pretty. As we're approaching the destination now, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to you guys, hopefully after we make the purchase. Wish us luck. Well guys, we just stopped by the Mississippi River since we're right nearby out here in Davenport, Iowa. So I guess you're getting a quick sneak peek of the car. On the trailer, it's pretty ugly, but guys, it has a hidden gem that I'm gonna show you when we get back to the garage. Quick walk around for you guys. Big old fart can on the back. Ooh, what's under there? Ooh. Guess what, you guys won't get to see it till we get back to the boost bunker. We got a 3-hour drive home, so we'll see you guys when we get there. The entire 3-hour drive home, I can't stop thinking, did I just get ripped off? $3,000 for a car that is making transmission noises? What if the entire transmission's shot? What if it's something inside the trans? But the one thing that kept making me feel better about the situation was that this car came with a ton of free parts. Everything you see here on the floor came with the car. Pretty wide assortment of car parts. P72 OBD1 ECU came with 2 VTEC B-Series cylinder heads. Now I don't know if either one of these are any good, but 2 brand new VTEC cylinder heads I could probably sell for a couple $100 a piece as is. So it came with a lot of goodies, but let me finally show you guys what is in this engine bay. All right, here goes guys, don't be mad at me. It's another GSR swap. Let's go. I love GSR swaps. This one is pretty dang clean. It looks pretty dang clean at least. This is an EX model, so it has like the nicest interior of all the EGs. Power windows, power locks, power sunroof. Nice little K-tune shifter there. Nerdy steering wheel with NRG quick release. And I believe the previous owner said it's running on a P72 ECU. So not only is this the best trim level of the EG Coupe with all the electronic controls, sunroof, but it also came with a few very valuable parts. VTEC cylinder heads, GSR harness, P72 ECU. If I can get all those parts sold for a few $100s or close to $1,000, then I will have knocked down the $3,000 that I paid for this car to a much more reasonable price of closer to $2,000. I listed the parts on Marketplace and then took the EG Coupe out for its first test drive to see if I could figure out anything that was wrong with it while driving. No check engine lights so far. Let's go ahead and take it around the block. Maybe try to do a pull or two. See how this thing feels. And we're off. You obviously have that weird noise from the transmission, which could be a throwout bearing, could be a main shaft bearing. That would really suck if you take apart the trans. But she's driving pretty good right now. I'll have to give her a good one here real quick. After test driving the car, I've identified a list of about 6 things that I need to fix before I can list the car for sale. The transmission noise is the biggest one. Also, the key that came with the car only works in the ignition and not in the door locks. It needs wiper arms and wiper blades. It needs an interior detail, and it has no hood prop. And lastly, the driver's side mirror needs to be put back to stock because the carbon fiber one that's on the car on the driver's side is unusable. I like to tackle the biggest project first, so let's get started with the transmission. Here's the moment of truth. If I drain this and there's metal in here, then I have to take apart the transmission, which really sucks. I guess let's inspect this trans fluid. Oh, it's pretty glittery. That looks like bearing soup, boys. Yikes. Aw, man, you gotta be kidding me. Not only did I overpay for the car, but now the repair just got twice as hard and is going to take twice as long. I'm gonna have to crack the transmission open and see what's failed inside. Yeah, a lot of metal on there, holy smokes. I'm gonna show you guys the carnage of that main shaft bearing. Check that out. The ball bearings are just floating around in there. That's so F. Market Valix Racing got a new main shaft bearing and main shaft seal ordered right away. Came in the very next day. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Brand new OEM Honda main shaft bearing. This is the part number for the seal, by the way. The idea of putting the bearing in the fridge is that if I let it sit in there and get cold enough, it should shrink a little bit in size, and then it should be able to easily slide into its place in the transmission. Got a few minutes. I'm like barely tapping it, by the way. I'm just like setting the hammer down on the bearing. With the transmission back in the car, it is now time to say a prayer and hope to God that this transmission noise is fixed. Because if I have to take the transmission out again and take it back apart, I'm gonna lose it. The noise is gone. That is such a big dub. Now I can move on to the rest of the list. The next thing to go with is the locks. I took the lock cylinders out of the door handles in the car and I brought them over to a locksmith. Shout out to that locksmith, Hartman Lock, thank you. Just got the key cylinders back from the locksmith. I just dropped them off a day or two ago and he rekeyed them to work with the key from the ignition and he provided a second key. So whoever gets this car is also gonna be getting a second key with it. He redid the lock cylinders in about 2 days, had them ready to go for me, brought them back over, installed them in the car, and bingo. Money, dude. Next, I swapped out the ugly AutoZone motor mount on the driver's side for a cool Hasport replica one that came with the car. I just think this looks so much better in the engine bay and it's going to look so much better on the marketplace listing to see a nice shiny motor mount in the engine bay instead of that crusty old aluminum looking one. Then to finish off the mechanical improvements, I threw on some hydraulic hood struts that I had from my old EK hatch. So many of you guys commented on the last one saying that I should have included the cost of the parts that I donated to the car on the last car flip project. So I will be including those hood struts in the final cost of this car at the end of the video. But with that said, I'm still willing to donate them to this car because it solves a problem that I'm having and I wasn't gonna use them for anything anyway, so cost me basically nothing. But I will include them in the end anyway, because I know you guys want me to. Lastly, I threw on some freshly painted wiper arms with some brand new wiper blades. For some reason, the car just didn't have wiper arms or wiper blades on it at all when I bought it. And the final thing to do is to give the car a good cleaning before taking it on its last test drive. So much better. Let me get you guys a better angle. Oh yeah. Wheels are looking mint. Interior, much better. I just cleaned it a bunch. Obviously the door panels are back on. I scrubbed down the pedals. I scrubbed down the floor. Vacuumed. Hit the dash. I cleaned all the dash. It's all nice and clean now. No more dust everywhere. That panel's back on. Bearing, making sure all the gears work. A little bit more vibration because of that motor mount that I threw in. I personally like that. Not Not that I love the vibration, but I love the more like responsive feel of the stiffer motor mounts. Fresh oil in the engine, fresh trans fluid in the trans, new door handle on that side, new lock cylinders in both sides, second key, power steering works nicely. Trans feels nice, gears feel good. Definitely sounds good, definitely feels good. VTEC's hitting. So everything checks out with this car mechanically now, and it's time to do my favorite part, which is list it for sale. Okay, so I've gone ahead and created my listing, and as I've said in the past, the listing is one of the most important parts in determining how your sale is gonna go. Thing number one is you need to have amazing photos, and if you have questions about this, you're gonna have an opportunity to ask me at the end of the video. The photos need to look awesome. Great lighting, good angles, gotta show the best parts of the car first, then show maybe some not so good parts of the car. Oh, then another good one to follow up. Okay, maybe not so good an angle of the car, not so good an angle. Oh, but it has rear disc brakes. We throw in a bonus there towards the end, and then one more great image towards the end to show another great part. I also included a quick little video clip of the car on this one. I haven't really tried putting video on Facebook Marketplace listings before, so I gave it a shot on this one. Seemed to work well. With the photos out of the way, we can go ahead and move on to the description. For the description, I like to give a quick little brief summary about the car. Very quick, very brief, very few words. Then I just go straight on to listing the good of the car and the bad of the car, and I reiterate that I'm looking for cash only. Please, no lowball offers. Thank you. This part of the description is very important because it lets people know that I am negotiable on price, but I'm not going to take thousands and thousands of dollars lower than my asking price. I listed this car for $6,100 because I know that even though on Facebook Marketplace I always say cash only, please, no lowball offers, people still lowball. So I listed way high, and I'm hoping to get something around $5,000 for the car. So I listed the car and started waiting for the messages to roll in. Now this is where the story gets very interesting. The car has been listed for about a day now, and I get a message from a guy named Manny. Manny is actually one of you guys. He's a subscriber of the channel, and he just bought my OEM SI gauge cluster for my old EK hatch. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had it listed on Marketplace. He saw it, came and got it, put it in his EK hatch, but the message that I received from him was not what I expected. He sent me photos of his EK hatch that he had just installed my SI gauge cluster in, and his EK hatch was destroyed. It had been hit in the front and totaled. Manny told me that he wanted to buy my EG Coupe to replace his EK hatch. So Manny sent me a deposit of $500 so that I would hold the car, and the car is effectively his. All right guys, I'm at the meetup location. I'm waiting for Manny to arrive. I'm hoping he's gonna be cool with being in the video because I know he's one of you guys. I think it'd be so fun to have him in here. So I guess we'll just have to see when he gets here. All right guys, this is Manny. Manny is here to get the car. If I remember, it was automatic and single cam.
Yes.
Yes. So, dude, going to the B Series life?
Little upgrade.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Very.
I hope she treats you well, man. It's like, I've had so much fun with my B Series, and dude, I hope you have some fun with it, man. Manny just signed the title, and he's gonna be on his way with Project Quick Flip Volume 2. Thank you so much, man. It's been an honor to sell it to you. Manny, enjoy your new EG Coupe. I'm really happy it went to you, man, because 1, you're one of us. 2, you seem like a really nice dude. And 3, I'm really happy that I could help you out of a bad situation. I hope the car treats you well, man. And with that said, before I give you all your free gift, let's break down the numbers. I paid $3,000 for the car. I paid the DMV $385 for title transfer. Having the locks redone and having a second key made for the car cost me $60. I paid my friend Lupe $200 for trailering the car back with me. I paid for Lupe and my lunch that day, that was $23. I paid for Lupe's gas during the trip, that was $62. Off camera, I put new oil in this car, that was $40. The main shaft bearing and seal, I think for me, were about $80. I touched up a couple of the primer spots on the body, that was $12 in primer. And I ended up replacing the passenger side door handle off camera as well because it was broken. That was about $30 for the door handle and shipping. In total, my cost was $3,892 plus the $30 for the hood struts, if you guys want to include those, which I think we should include those. I just didn't write it down on the sheet when I made the list. Profit. I sold the car for $5,100. If we subtract the cost of $3,892 from the $5,100 that I made, that leaves me $1,208 net profit. But here's the kicker. That does not sound like bank. $1,200, you're like, dude, this guy didn't make bank. He made $1,200 on a car flip. I'm sure by now most of you guys have forgotten about the extra car parts that I listed for sale on Marketplace. Swoops in out of nowhere with extra money that you guys all forgot about. Let's go. So one of the VTEC cylinder heads I sold for $450. The chipped P28 ECU I sold for $260. And the other VTEC cylinder head I sold for $300 because it was missing quite a bit of stuff. That comes out to a grand total net profit of $2,218 minus the 30 for the hood strut. So just under 2,200 bucks. Now some of you guys might still be thinking, let's just call it $2,200. Isn't that much for a car flip? I think one, I think that's pretty good. And two, if we break down what my hourly rate was on this project, that is where you will start to see that I did indeed make bank. I spent 6.5 hours picking up the car. I spent about 1 hour total of test driving it around the neighborhood. It took about 10 hours for me on the transmission. I was really slow on this one because yes, it looks quick in the video, but it took me about 3 hours to get the gear stacks back in the trans. I just couldn't get it. It took me a really long time. I had to take the gear stack apart and put it back together like 3 or 4 times. Oil change took me about a half hour. Door locks were about 3 hours of work total. That includes driving to the locksmith's house, dropping off the locks, picking them back up, putting them in the car. I fixed an oil leak off camera. That was about 2 hours of work. Cleaning the car was about an hour, and listing it took me maybe an hour, for a total of 25 hours of work on this project. And that's every single hour, that's every minute that I could think to account for. I was even being generous with some of these jobs time-wise. So $2,188 includes the hood struts. Let's divide that by 25 to figure out my hourly rate on this job. That means that I made $87.52 per hour on this car flip. That makes me really happy because, as I said in the beginning of this video, I was really nervous going into this one. I thought I overpaid. I thought I drove way too far. I thought I had way too much time into this project, but at the end of the day, I did end up being pretty profitable, which makes me feel really good about this. And that makes me even more excited for the next project. Thank you to all of you guys who are still here and waited till the end of the video. I'm gonna go ahead and give out that free gift to you guys now. And like I said, this is not clickbait. This is totally legit. I'm gonna give all of you guys my phone number. This is my free gift to you guys. This is my phone number. Feel free to call me, text me. If you guys have questions for me about any of this process, if you guys have questions just about YouTube in general, about life, whatever, that's my phone number. Please be respectful. Please don't abuse the phone number, but I want to give it to you guys. It's yours to keep. If you have any questions on any of your project cars, or if you're trying to flip a car and you have questions, feel free to reach out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I'm hoping that this is a way that I can give back and say thank you to all of you guys for all the constant support. Thank you for getting me to 60,000 subscribers. That's my thank you to you guys. Hopefully we'll see 70,000 soon and shooting for that 100K. I'm Booster John. We deserve nothing, earn everything. Bye, and thank you again.
He skipped leg day.